What do you got, Scorpio? This is Cosmic Boogeyman. So I'm going to come back at you with a timeline read. So one thing I don't think I've ever talked about with you guys is how I came about this timeline read. So um, about a couple years ago, I was doing some Celtic cross reads. I was doing reads like for friends and stuff, and I don't charge. I don't like a. I sound like a super northeasterner, so I don't charge for people. And what I one thing I did is I started to come up with a read based on what I talked to my guides with, because I was heavy into meditation. So Scorpio, one of the things I was doing is I was having a hard time coming up with like more detail, more detail, more detail. And I was sitting with my friend one day, and I just kept reading him over and over and over. I like tore my hamstring pretty bad, and so him and I were coming up with some reads. He goes, try to like really dig, because he would sit there a really cold reading, so I couldn't read him at all, and he wouldn't tell me anything about stuff. And I know it sounds really odd, but like I know him since like before we were in kindergarten together. So anyway, Scorpio, one of the things I did is I came up with this read with my guys and stuff, because I would meditate, because I was obviously really jammed up with the hamstring. And the other thing is do I would cold read him. I would just sit there and just say, no, don't tell me what happened. Don't do anything. And it got really good. I built up my intuition to like an amazing capacity. Like he would say, "Hey, what's going on?" I say, "Oh," he said, "How, did you get that car?" He's like, "What?" I said, "The white car." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I told you about that." I go, "No." It was just super cool. So anyway, one thing I said is I was gonna give back with the gift. I said I just don't know how to do it, but I have a super busy schedule. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I'm just sitting here. It's a Saturday night, and Scorpio, I love watching tarot, and so anyway, I got jammed up, and I love watching tarot. And I said, you know what, I'm just gonna start putting these out here and see what happens, because I enjoy this stuff. And I did this for him for a while, and I've always been into this like since I was little, like crazy little. I could talk to spirits and stuff. But anywho, so I was able to pick up crazy detail on him, and he was like, it was getting spooky. So he's the one who talked me into doing this. And then I have a friend, and she's like, hey, she's like, you really got to go online. So I said, all right. So I started to do this, and I had a couple of friends, and she's a Scorpio. So I said, hey, I'll do this. I'll start putting these out there. So this is a shout out to you know who. Anyway, my point is, I'm putting this out there. As I just put the cards out, I had no intention of placing cards anywhere. I just kind of follow a snake pattern. That's my only goal. Each card has a representation of something, and it has an individual representation back to me. And I'll give you a kind of a breakdown of what the cards are, what they mean. And I do have full books and everything. I have tons of literature, I promise. But I'm just going to break it down to my own intuitive meaning, and it has a lot of meaning back to me. I promise you, it's really helpful. Okay, so I have this reading that I came up with like my best friend, and it's called a timeline read. And I'll build off this. I have a double tarot deck made by the same manufacturer. And one of the things I was doing is I said, if I get to 1,000 viewers, I'll actually raffle these off. You can't get them anymore, and I have I think two, maybe three of these. I'll raffle actually all of them off. They're super hard to get. It'll kill me to do it, but I'll do it anyway. But I have these, and like I replaced one of the cards in here with a two of cups. Anywho, so we have four cards in the corner. Those are our cornerstones. This is ground zero. So for you, Scorpio, that would be your ground zero. Each of these means something. Um, and just think of it like decisions, like which way you could go if you chose. This is your conduit. This is like kind of what the universe is always, the Grand Central Station. It's always bringing problems and answers and help in. Like, oh, I found $20. You could find a new solution. So anyway, as we go through here, these are individual strains of something. So everything matters to something else. Like you go to the police station to bail out your cousin Joey, and while you're there, you run into, hey, your old science teacher. Then explains to you, well, hey, what's going on? I forgot to remind you, I got an apartment available, super cheap rent. It's controlled, New York kind of style. That weird like universe brings this in that lines you up to here, then gets you that's how it's called coincidence. That's what my guides brought me into. All right, we ready? All right, so this is your base read, 21 cards. So there's an Aquarian male somewhere tied into here, Scorpio. I'd say probably not connected to you right now, but there's definitely some kind of deepness or deep love situation. There's a new start happening tied into them more than likely, new opportunity. Someone's been left hanging. There is sneakiness happening, but there's been a disconnect with communication. In your life, more than likely than not, there is a water sign. Uh, so let's see, Scorpio. What's the Scorpio? What do we got here? So I don't want to say, I don't want to commit to water sign yet till we dig more. But let's just leave this open to water sign right now. All right, because we have this and this could be triggered. So we'll keep going. So new opportunity, past life with the hanged man, the hanged one, whoever this is. But the sneakiness is there, something here. Something's not being completely revealed, which I'm going to tell you. Somebody's playing a game here, wherever that is. It's some messages being left hanging or whatever. We're going to keep going. So there's strength in the situation. There's breadcrumbing. There's a raising of vibration, but someone was definitely hurt, and there's someone's hiding something, and there's an injustice here. So whatever this means for you, ooh, hold on, Scorpio. And behind the scenes here, I didn't even see this. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's definitely someone is kind of like regretful and then being sneaky behind the scenes about being regretful. So you got to watch out for that. And that could be this Aquarian male that's breadcrumbing. All right, let's keep going. So, um, my best friend and I did this like read with them, and it got really good. Like I would pop these cards, and that's what made me say, "Hey, let me ramp up the difficulty." And when I was just doing one tarot deck, and he's like, "Okay, what do you mean?" I was like, "Let me figure it out," and that's how I came up with the double tarot deck. It was just really cool. It just helped me, like if I don't know if you're a baseball fan or not, and it doesn't matter. But if you know, like, hey, I hit the bat, I hit the ball all the time, perfect. How can you make it more difficult? Switch the way you hit, right? And I think that's kind of what I was doing because I didn't want to read books. I was, my primary career, I was just that I didn't have that luxury to. I can read. I'm a teacher, and I was like, I want to just relax. So I was like, this would be really fun to kind of tap back into this what I knew to be true, and I felt it. And I just used it as a sign, and I just broke into it. Anyway, so immediately what you see here, you see the double self-imprisonment cards. Amazing cards, but you see how the self-imprisonment leads into this. Typically, these cards can mean their own things. Like I would say, well, these cards could be here, but you can see how they're overlapping. So what I'm telling you, and I'm going to be very strict with this, is this is almost like this happened. Like someone was in self-imprisonment. Self-imprisonment happened again. That led to like, oh my God, I should have. No regrets, but this dark horse candidate wanted to kind of come back, didn't, and then they found their own fulfillment and happiness elsewhere. Their new opportunity, and that's where this ground zero, where everything first started, where this whole read is about for you, Scorpio, whatever that meaning, whatever you're watching this for, whatever this actual reading is happening, that is their happiness is now elsewhere. If that makes any sense. It's about a message that was never sent or received, and there's a sneakiness behind it. I just so want to pull this card for you right now. I don't know what that means. There's a card right here I want to pull. I am holding it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to tell. It's going to go right here over the sneakiness. But something feels ended or is done. There was like, hey, you're the one. You are clearly the one. I would 100% do what you want. You have no idea how much I want you. You have no idea. So whatever that means, like for this, that's what I get out of that. And it's kind of like out of a blockage, like someone's not saying something. There's a hurt. I almost feel like the bandages. Like I know you have the bandages on, whatever that means. And the like walking, leave behind. Un, it's like untrue, whatever that means. Uh, but the divine is not like allowing the death to happen. Is protecting it. It's like feeding it life for some reason, whatever that means. So there's a King of Pentacles in here who's behind the breadcrumbing, but there's definitely a past life that's behind this situation. There's a double brand new start happening, whatever that means. That's really causing this situation. I don't know what that means. Someone's going on to bigger and better and brand new, but this might be this King of Cups, but they're not in alignment. Huh. Very interesting. So let's pull this card immediately because we're all curious about this, aren't we? So let's see, Scorpio. Ready? Wow. All right. So the Devil card, which I was just wondering, no lie, about half a second ago, because this tells me this is not about a sexual connection, whatever that means. The Justice here tells me like um, maybe that's, or there's a Capricorn here because that's also a Capricorn card. Capricorn card. There's a happiness. There's no sneakiness with the Capricorn. That could be what that is. There's no ending with the Capricorn, if that makes sense to you. Um, but there's love with the Capricorn or the Aquarius or something, if that makes sense. There's love here with this King of Cups. Huh, interesting. So there's definitely a third party coming into the situation. That's where the headache comes in. That's what I'm getting for you here, Scorpio. And that's what you're trying to explore. You've been seeing online. And there's a life lesson for you. They made you feel amazing, or you made them feel amazing, or vice versa. So you might have met somebody, and that could be the other side of the coin here that I'm not seeing. Is maybe you met somebody, Scorpio, and they're like, wow, I missed the boat on her, or I missed the boat on them, or him. I could be that. That's probably what could be happening here. And if that's what's happening here, Scorpio, then congratulations. But it looks like there's definitely been some kind of ending, and somebody's been moving on, and but there's somebody's been elevated to like the Queen of Cups, which means like the wife or the but there's been a life lesson, but someone's seeing a life lesson online. And it's not like, like, and someone feels bad is what I'm getting. If that helps, I don't know for you, Scorpio. But at the end of the day, like you each are happy, like the Aquarian's happy, or whoever that is, because that's what I got here. Um, or the air sign that you're talking about would be happy because they show themselves happy. And the sun sign comes out, so that tells me that the sun's out and it comes out. So this water sign is definitely prominent. So you're here and here. Um, so for you, you're definitely showing, and that's why I said this ground zero, this person is your match, or this other person that you were hoping would could be your match. Whoever you've been waiting or leaving hanging is your match. I think that's what it comes down to, and I think someone's been afraid to commit to whatever this is. Maybe there's a third party, or there's somebody else involved, or there's a friend. Then maybe they have dogs, or there's I know it sounds silly, or they have little children, but those people are getting always in the way, and you can't commit because that's where like you want to be around this other friend, Scorpio, but you can't. That's like you want to be married or even move on to this bigger and long-term commitment to someone that's more emotionally mature or better for you. Um, but it's like if you're around, say, like your sister or the friends or whoever, those people can always dissuade you because they don't want better for you because they're jealous, if that makes sense. They don't want to see you become the Empress and have this long-term commitment. Did you see me pull the long-term commitment card? That's what happens, because this is the Queen of Queens, and that's the long-term commitment, and that's the marriage card, and that's the Ten of Pentacles, and that's no longer hanging. That's you being like, you're an amazing giver. So um, I'm going to pull one card here for you, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to tell you right here, it's very evident here, Scorpio, that you have the opportunity to basically connect to your own happiness. It's your chance. Don't let people dissuade you from being happy. You're happy if you want to be happy. See? So this is the Strength card, which represents fire or Leo, power, rebirth, changes, or contribution. Okay? You don't know your own strength until it's tested. But I think that's been the case for you for probably a while, if I'm right. Okay? A self-assurance, your confidence, your passion, your resilience, you have courage, and you have inner power. But you've always had that, Scorpio. That's kind of where you're at. You're not going to be challenged until you are going to be challenged, but you want to make sure you're there. But there's a self-imprisonment that must be happening. But you need to know that you have resilience. You're ready to kind of grow out of whatever this is. I want you to be safe, be strong. Okay. We'll talk soon. You have whatever this is.